Coming up tonight, high-quality masks offering better protection against the Delta variant will be given to all households here. Visits to hospital wards will stop from Thursday as a new cluster emerges at Changi General Hospital. And the so-called MBS badge lady is expected to plead guilty to her charges. This is the Straits Times Newsnight. Good evening, I'm Chao Su-An. Each household in Singapore will receive 50 medical-grade surgical masks and 25 N95 respirator masks. But when? Well, Temasek Chief Executive Ho Ching says she's keeping her fingers crossed that the next free mask distribution exercise will launch by the last week of August. She clarified in a Facebook post that public collection does not start today or right after National Day. Now, if you've seen this poster, you'll have seen that a trial by Temasek Foundation to test the system has started today, but it's not open to the public. Ho Ching explaining that the high-grade masks are an additional option for better protection, given that the Delta variant is twice as contagious as the other COVID variants from last year. Temasek is working with CapitaLand malls and larger supermarkets to distribute masks using SP Group utility bills. And one more thing, Ho Ching's urging everyone to bring their own bag to reduce plastic waste when the collection begins. And a reminder from Temasek, tomorrow's the last day for the collection of free oxymeters. Don't forget to bring along the redemption leaflet, and if the outlet you are at is out of stock, please try the next nearest one. The device checks the oxygen level in the blood and can help detect early signs of a worsening in health. Singapore's total number of active clusters now stands at 100, and they each have between 3 and 1,097 infections. Just yesterday, 8 new clusters were announced, and all were linked to previous cases. One of the new clusters is at Changi General Hospital, with a total of 3 cases linked to it. This comes just 3 days after the Health Ministry announced that it had closed the previous CGH cluster. So how worried should we be about these new clusters? Here's what Professor Teo Yik Ying, Dean of the NUS Saw Swee Hock School of Public Health, told us.
So actually, the number of active clusters in itself, like the number of infections reported daily, is not as worrying or as important as 6 months back. And that is because we now have about 62% of the population fully vaccinated, and we are on track to fully vaccinate up to 80% of the population by the end of August. And what this means is that despite the relatively high number of daily reported cases, as well as the number of active clusters or even the number of unlinked cases, what we see is that this did not translate to a spike in the number of cases developing severe disease to the point they need oxygen supplementation or ICU care.
Meanwhile, visits to hospital wards will not be allowed for about 2 weeks, from tomorrow to August 18th. This amid the rising in cases in the community, including staff and patients of hospitals. But there will be exceptions such as patients who are very ill and patients who are babies or children, as well as mothers who are due to give birth. Now, taking a look at the daily COVID-19 numbers, 95 new cases were confirmed today, 92 locally transmitted and 3 imported. Of the local infections, 62 are linked to previous cases and 30 are currently unlinked. And now the latest on the woman captured on video not wearing a mask at the Marina Bay Sands Integrated Resort. Popularly known as the Badge Lady, she's expected to plead guilty to her charges on August 12th. Poon Chew Yok, who is now in remand, appeared in court via video link today. She asked the court for her release without conditions attached. Poon, who is unrepresented, also asked for the return of her passport, stressing that she has a stellar professional record. She currently faces 22 charges for various offences, including multiple counts of failing to wear a mask at public places. She also allegedly left her hotel room at MBS on June 28 last year, despite being on SHN. The first Singaporean to compete in marathon swimming at the Olympics says she is extremely proud of her achievement and hopes to have silenced her critics. Chantelle Liu making history today, swimming 10 kilometers in the open water and finishing 23rd place out of 25 swimmers. Question is, will this be the last we see of Chantelle? Tokyo was always meant to be her retirement race. but now she says, "I think I need a long break, sit on it for a while before I make a final decision." And wow, for the second day in a row, a new world record in the 400-meter hurdles, this time in the women's race. Team USA's Sydney McLaughlin winning gold in 51.46 seconds, shattering her previous record of 51.9. It's the first Olympic medal for the 21-year-old who made her debut at the 2016 Rio Games. Celebrating afterwards, she said, "It's just about trusting your training, trusting your coach, and that will get you all the way around the track." And British diver Tom Daley has captured the eyes and hearts of many across the world. And not just because of his stunning gold medal win. Including this adorable little pouch for his medal, Daley's knitting adventures have the world captivated. Even the official Olympic social media accounts have gotten all tied up in his wholesome poolside hobby, following intently for their daily fix of Daley's knitting. He's made a dog sweater, an Olympic sweater, and goodness knows what else. In fact, some suggest he even gets his yarn delivered poolside. Daley's needlework has certainly gotten us all hooked. And while the NDP is postponed, we will still be able to listen to Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong in a televised National Day message on Sunday, August 8th, a day before National Day. He will deliver his speech in English on CNA at 6:45 p.m. The National Day message in 4 languages will also be available on the website of the Prime Minister's office and the PMO YouTube channel after the first broadcast. Now that wraps up the Straits Times Newsnight. Do visit straitstimes.com to see more news and videos. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel by hitting the button below. Keep safe, and I'll see you tomorrow.